Hi, my name is Jeriah Ellis, and I'm doing my second speech on a cultural experience. And although I have not been able to go to the country of Canada, one thing that's on my bucket list in life is to one day visit Canada. Now, I was born in Baltimore, Maryland, of the United States, of course, and proud of where I'm from, proud of my country. Where we are today, that's another story, but we're growing and we're becoming better people. But a place I would love to go one day in my life is Canada. Why Canada? Has been a part of the North American world for as long as I've known, of course, and it's just been such a big part of North America that I've seen it on the maps, and I'm wondering why. What is this place about? It's just as big as the United States, and well, actually, what I've learned is that it's the second largest country in the world behind Russia, and I was so surprised at that, but at the same time, I was not surprised because I'm looking at the maps and I'm thinking, this is a big country, and I'm sure there's a lot to learn and a lot to understand about this country. And I'm just doing my research on this country, and I'm realizing that it's a very interesting place. I would love to go. Not during the winter, though. I would not, I would never want to go during the winter because their weather is, of course, because the country is further away from the equator than the United States. It's much colder weather, more snow, a lot of winds, and I would just not want to be there during the winter. But during the summer, I would love to go visit just places such as Toronto, the city of Quebec, and of course the capital, which is Ottawa. That's the capital of Canada, which I realized and I didn't know before. But a lot of research that I did is something that I learned about Canada. Also, another thing I learned about Canada is it's very bilingual, and it's a lot of English. A lot of people speak English there, which is I would be great in integrating myself when I one day visit, and also French. Now, I'm not very fond of the French. I don't know much about the French to judge them, but I know that they're great people, and I just know that the culture in Canada is a great mix in between the English and the French. And that's just one thing I would love to just see how the cultures integrate one another, because here in the United States, we have a lot of cultures. We have the Hispanics, we have the Caucasians, we have the African Americans, and we all mesh well together. Even here at the University of North Carolina at Greensboro, we all get along very well. And I just feel like I'm so glad I chose this school because it's a very diverse community, and we all just have a common goal. And we're all up here. We're all decided that our goal is to graduate. And even if you're in the graduate school, we're all focused on the goals at hand and not what's not important. And I just feel like I appreciate that about my school. Just a side note. But back to Canada. Another thing I learned about Canada is that their Canadian dollar is, to compare, one US dollar is 1.290 Canadian dollars. So if you were to go over to Canada, if I were to go over to Canada, the money I have in my pocket right now would be worth just a tad bit more than it would be there. So I feel like of course that's interesting news. That entices me to go because that means my funds is worth more in a different country, and that just gives me even more reason to just save my money to go visit a place such as Canada. That'd be a great cultural experience, and it'd be a great place to study abroad, of course. Because I don't think that that opportunity has been presented to me, and I just feel like I have to provide that opportunity for myself to go to Canada and just find out more about the culture, the people within. And also, another thing that I learned was the head of government was the Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, I believe is pronounced. And I read a lot about how Canada has two houses of Senate and then a House of Parliament, I believe, something of that nature. I read a lot about it. It was very interesting, but it's not the same as what we have in Washington, D.C. It's very different how they work out things there than we do. Just we refer to as the head of state, the president. They refer to theirs as the prime minister. That's just one simple thing in it, that I learned about Canada. I just would love to go visit, and can't say much about it. Can't say much more about it because it's on my bucket list. I plan to get it done one day, and also just another thing about Canada. I love their accents. The accents they have in Canada, I just love it. I just love hearing someone talk from there. It's just it's very interesting. I would love to be a part of that culture for at least 2 days at most, and I feel like I would learn a lot and I would enjoy my time there. So definitely on my bucket list. I plan on doing that one day, and hopefully that gets accomplished. And I would like to thank you, Mr. Joe, for watching my speech and enjoying my speech, of course, and hopefully I get a good grade on it. Thank you.